Today we're going to be looking at a game that was played between Andrew Tate and his cousin Luke. The game is action-packed and the ending is nasty. Let's just get into it. So today Andrew is playing with the black pieces and his cousin Luke is playing with the white pieces, and Luke opens up with the move e4, the best way to start the game. Hopefully none of you click off because of that. And if Henry Tate were playing, Andrew Tate's father, he would have played the move c5, known as the Sicilian defense. Instead, Andrew Tate plays the move d6, known as the Pirc defense. I also believe Henry Tate had some influence in Luke's upbringing. I may be wrong. I think I heard that somewhere. So both players, you know, have a bit of Henry about them. So it's going to be an interesting match. Going to be an interesting battle. Here, Luke decides he wants to play the move d3, getting this bishop nicely into the game. And now we see the move e5. So Andrew Tate takes the center, knight f3, and now knight c6. Knight c6 does have a bit of a fault behind it, though. This knight is blocking this pawn. It would have been a lot better for Andrew Tate to play the move c5 before he played the move knight c6, because this pawn would control the center. And also with the move knight c6, he now can never play the move c5. He'll have to move the knight again. So just little details, but they all add up. We now see bishop e2 and bishop e7. So Tate does the same thing. And here Luke has looked at the position. He's gone, you know what? I probably need to get my bishop into the game. So it goes bishop e3. And you would expect here a move like knight f6. I know some of you will probably already jump into the conclusion that that was going to be played. However, we saw the move f5. Oh, that's not f5. We saw the move f5. So striking at the center. So now Tate can develop his knight, but now his pawn is up in the board. Nice stuff by Tate, chipping away at Luke's center. Here the move ef5 and now bishop f5 and knight b to d2. So getting the knight into the game. And Andrew here simply continues with the move knight f6. Here Luke decides to castle his king and Andrew Tate castles his king. Both players getting their king to safety, as king safety is the #1 principle in chess. And here we're in the middle game. For those of you who aren't too familiar with the game of chess, the game is kind of broken into 3 parts. The opening, which we've just finished, and then the middle game and the end game. Now we've just entered the second phase, the middle game. And the middle game for some players is, especially for beginners, is normally the hardest part to navigate because you're really left to your own devices. You've got to start thinking. And here Luke comes up with the move a3. Now a3 is not the greatest of moves. A lot better would have been a move like d4, contesting for the center, or even c4, just adding some central control. But the move a3 doesn't really do anything, you know, a bit of a slow move. And to be fair to Andrew, he plays a good move here. He plays d5. He takes advantage of the fact that Luke has allowed him to put his pawn 1 square further into his camp. Nice stuff, controlling the center. The center is the most important part of the board. If you're lost for what to do in chess, just try control the center. Here Luke plays the move rook e1 and now the move h6. So a prophylactic move, giving this king a bit of safety. And there's also a bit of a deeper idea behind it. I'm not sure if it was intended, but we're going to be exploring it as the game progresses. And after this move h6, we see knight b3. You know, to be fair, he's trying to get his pieces into the game as this knight wasn't doing too much on d2. But the b3 square is not really the optimal home for this knight, as it's not really having such an impact on this game. It would have been a lot better, like I said, for white to strike in the center with a move like d4 and get his pieces into the game that way. But what you have to understand in chess is that you've got to judge a piece's value on its potential. It's all about what a piece can do in the next move, in the next couple moves. That's really where a piece's value lies. So what can this knight really do? You know, well, it can only really come to c5. And is it really good on c5? And here Tate improves his worst piece. One thing you can do in chess is always try to improve your worst piece. What's Tate's worst piece here? Well, probably his bishop. So he puts his bishop, what's on this rather inactive diagonal, to the d6 square. And now it has a nice bright future along this nice diagonal. Here the move bishop c5. Luke has found this bishop on this diagonal rather imposing, so wants to exchange it. And now queen e7. So keeping the tension. And now since Luke's bishop is under attack 2 times, Andrew Tate is actually threatening to win it. He goes d4 now. So now in the occurrence of an exchange, well, Luke is well covered. And there's a trap here. If you were to blindly take this pawn, then this bishop slides to a6. And now there's an attack on your queen. This is what is known as a discovered attack. So your pawn is under attack and your queen is under attack. So you have to be very careful here that you don't just take 3 pawns. It would be tempting to take this. Instead, Tate plays the best move. He doesn't take here as he would be liable to discovered attacks. Instead, he plays the move e4, kicking this knight away. This knight is forced to the edge of the board, attacking this bishop, but now bishop h7. We see the move bishop h5 by Luke, which doesn't really do an awful lot, to be honest. You want to try avoid moves that maybe look cool, but actually don't do anything. I would probably call this a semi-open position, but in a semi-open position, bishops are normally worth a bit more than knights, so you don't really want to just blindly trade off your bishops here for a knight. You want to try keep your bishops, and you can try pause the video here and try find the tactical sequence Tate could have played to punish this move. I'm gonna let you pause the video. If you did find it, credit to you. It's actually knight h5, and after queen h5, this was not played in the game, by the way. I'm just showing you. A queen f6, threatening this and threatening g5. So this pawn was to be defended with, let's say, a move like rook f1. With g5 traps a knight, as the knight has nowhere to go. So a nice little tactic there. You'd have to, you know, credit to you if you found. Let me know in the comments if you found that. So there was a big tactic here, what Tate could have played with taking and going queen f6 with the threat of trapping the knight. However, he did not play that in the game. Instead, he played the move b6. We saw bishop d6 and queen d6, and now Luke plays the blunder f3. Why is this a blunder? You can try work it out. Tate did not take advantage of this blunder by picking up the free bishop. Instead, he played the move queen f4. So this bishop is still under attack. Remember, when the move f3 was played, it disconnected the queen and the bishop. So this knight is under attack, and this bishop is under attack. What do you do here? Knight g6 was tried, attacking this rook, but now bishop g6 and bishop g6. So he saved his knight, happy days, but now the move queen g5, attacking this bishop. And the problem is, this bishop is actually trapped. It has nowhere to go. So here, Luke is pretty much forced to just give up a bit of material here. Bang. So he takes, and takes. And now Andrew is only up one piece of material, but Luke does have this nice passed pawn. Maybe he can make something out of it. Rook a to e8 was played, exerting a bit of pressure along this file. But now the move e5 and knight g4. And here Luke plays the move c3. And here Tate really punishes this with the move queen f4 with the threat of queen h2. And queen e2 was played, which hangs checkmate in one. And Tate was quick to punish this impetuous decision and plays the move queen h2 checkmate. Anyway, that is the end of the video. If you enjoyed this video, I think you might enjoy this video. Thank you for your time and attention. It is much appreciated. Have a nice rest of your day.